Dragon Ball Sparking Zero finally has a release date, and like a lot of fans, I was excited. For many, it has been almost a 17-year wait, and now that wait is almost over. But then at the end of the showcase, what I had been fearing ever since the game was announced had come to fruition, the dreaded Season Pass.
I am never going to financially recover from this.
The 164 character roster may only be a pipe dream for those who cannot afford it.
Gosh, how sad. These girls must be poor. They can't afford clothes.
As much as I hate to admit it, the days of buying a game and that being the entire game are over, and has been like that for a few years. For those much younger than me, this is just the norm. But when I was a kid, when you picked up a copy of Tenkaichi 3 and it said it had over 90 characters, you really did get 90 characters. You didn't have to pay extra or pre-order it, no. It was part of the game from day one and is still part of the game 17 years later. I foresaw this coming. I knew there was going to be a bunch of DLC characters, but even so, I was still disappointed when it was confirmed. And it doesn't help that the prices of games have gone up in general. With the current economy, many people, including myself, are kind of struggling. Everything is getting so much more expensive, and the weekly budget seems to be purchasing less and less at the store. I mean, look at this watermelon I found. $8 for this.
Ooh, that's kind of small. Yikes.
I don't drink, I don't do drugs, I stay at home and play video games. They help me get away from having to worry about this stuff, but even then it feels like it's impossible to escape. For the standard edition of Sparking Zero, they are charging 70 USD or $114 New Zealand. And that comes with no fancy stuff, just the pre-order bonus, which is an early unlock for some of the characters. I'm not even entirely sure what they mean by this. Maybe it's just a bypass to unlocking them in the story mode or something. For me, that doesn't sound that great, as I actually like playing through the games and unlocking the stuff myself. That's part of the fun, isn't it? Playing the game. Then there is the Ultimate Edition for 110 US dollars or 180 New Zealand. Now this is the one that comes with the Season Pass, which has 3 DLC packs including Dragon Ball Super Superhero and Dragon Ball Daima content that contains more than 20 playable characters. Also you get to play it 3 days before everyone else, which is whatever. But when they say it comes with more than 20 playable characters, do they mean there is going to be 184 characters, or are these DLC characters included in the 164 roster count? Because if it is the latter, that is pretty scummy and misleading of them. But this is Bandai Namco we're talking about.
Hello, I like money.
The same ones who charge $8 per character in Dragon Ball FighterZ. And no, I'm never gonna let that go.
Kill all the poor.
However, this has been going on for a while in Dragon Ball games, and it's only been getting worse. It all started back in 2009 with Raging Blast. At this time, DLC packs weren't as prolific as it is today, so for this game they were a bit cautious with it as all of the DLCs were free. But this was only the beginning, and this generosity would not last. Battle of Z had 3 DLC characters that players could purchase for around $3 each, depending on the region. But then came along the Xenoverse series, specifically Xenoverse 2, that has an overwhelming amount of DLC that can get up there in the hundreds of dollars if you get everything. And I've already done a whole video ranting about that. Of course, years later they release a complete edition, but this really sucks for those who brought in early. It's like the more of a fan that you are, the more you get punished. Oh, I almost forgot to mention there's also another edition of Sparking Zero that comes with this giant statue thing. I don't mind that sort of thing as much because they are giving you a physical thing and it doesn't change the actual game in any way. Plus it also comes with cards for the TCG. Hopefully these cards aren't really OP or something because that would suck for players. It's freaking expensive though. That is almost 380 New Zealand dollar bucks. I've been watching other creators just being so happy and excited about the release, and I want to be too, but it's just a struggle, and I know a lot of viewers of mine are struggling too. The only reason I'm able to afford to get Sparking Zero around their release is because of you guys watching my videos. So thank you. And I'm sorry I have to be such a party pooper all the time, but I'm just trying to be honest about the way I feel about this. Hype is fun, but it's not for everyone. A lot of people will say, well, you don't have to buy it. And that is absolutely true. Video games and their DLCs are luxuries, and you absolutely do not have to buy the DLC. But my point is that 17 years ago, you didn't have to buy it either. Also, the cover art sucks.